Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Communities Live here on Sheffield Live 93.2 FM. Chris and Ellie here, and we have filmmaker Tatjana Anders. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
So, give us a bit of background. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Where to start? I am an actress, also an entrepreneur. I basically grew up in Ukraine. I was born in Ukraine, then I moved to Germany when I was 10, and although I've always wanted to be an actor or, do something in film, my parents convinced me to study business, which I did, which was fun. So through my business degree, I came to the UK, where I graduated. And once I sort of had my business degree under the belt, I was like, right, now I'm gonna do acting. Um, always have that business degree to fall back onto, you know what I mean? So yeah, and I've been doing sort of because I've already got a degree, I didn't really want to go to drama school, so I just started doing acting classes with an amazing coach at Instinctual Acting. And as a new actor, you always face the problem of, no one wants to hire you because you don't have anything to show for. You're not famous, and obviously you're still learning. Now I feel like at this point, I've kind of learned a lot more than when I first started. So well, far, far better. I hope so. Than at the beginning of my sort of acting career journey. But yeah, I was struggling getting interesting scripts. There's an abundance of projects out there in London, especially, but not all of them are of the quality that I wanted to necessarily be involved in. Unfortunately, sometimes I would read something and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. The plot, like, it has too many holes and no one speaks like this.
Mm,
So frustrated, I decided I'm gonna write my own script. So next question was sort of like, what am I going to write about? And I talked to my partner about it, and now my husband, and we sort of brainstormed a few ideas. And I was like, I really want to do something psychological, and I really want to do something with meaning, like, with a where people can take away something from it. And he actually stumbled across this article about gaslighting, and I read about it. He's like, "Well, this sounds really interesting." And I read about it and I'm like, wow, that's actually what happened to my friend. I it's a really good friend of mine who lives in Germany, and back then she was with this guy, and he just, emotionally drained her completely. So they were in a relationship for a couple of years, and she's beautiful, absolutely stunning, bubbly, super friendly, like a little angel, honestly. She's her only problem, I think she's just too good for this world.
mm,
So yeah, so she got involved with this guy who sort of um made her think that she's crazy. So because she started sort of having suspicions that he was cheating on her, and he's like, no, it's all you. You are being unreasonable. Maybe you're the one cheating. So he sort of like tried to make her feel like she's crazy, and she wasn't sure what was going on. So long story short, they broke up, and eventually, she found out that yes, he was cheating on her with everyone. And she was like, and I believed him, and she's like, what does it say about me? And it kind of broke her trust in herself, which is, I feel like, the most uh horrible thing that can happen, where you can no longer trust yourself
true.
and your gut instinct, and you're like, if he fooled me like that, what does it say about me and my ability to tell the truth from a lie? And yeah, and it just kind of really, it took her probably a good 4 or 5 years to kind of emotionally recover from it. So I was like, it seems like it's a big issue, and I really wanted to raise awareness on that topic. And I kind of started doing a lot of research. I read so many books about it, and I watched lots of YouTube videos, and just and read lots of forums of people sharing their experiences. I really wanted to for it to be as true to life as possible. So I created this. I've written this, a short film, and actually after I've published it and after, I published it on YouTube, so many more of my friends came forward to me and told me that they've gone for something similar, where I didn't even know that that happened to them. So, it just opened this Pandora box of I thought, it was it's sort of a one-off thing. It sometimes happens. It's
Mm.
very unlucky, obviously, but I had no idea that it was so common. And it's a little bit scary.
I mean, what you just said to me was it's it's absolutely shocking. But I
Mm.
mean to say that one film that you just did, and it opens up all these possibilities, opens up to everybody, and it
Mm.
helps a lot of people. I mean, that is phenomenal.
Thank you. Yeah. I honestly feel so honored, and when people come to me and even reach out to me and write to me and leave comments, obviously. But I feel like obviously when people take the time to message me personally and say, this thank you for this film because it's changed my life. Because I was able to leave my abusive partner, or I was able to have this uh I guess moment of understanding that I'm not the crazy one.
Yeah,
I'm fine, it's not me, it's them. And I think that it's so inspiring, and I feel this sense of obviously validation of being able to help someone, not just entertaining. Obviously, the films always
so
kind of try and be entertaining and be interesting and maybe inspiring in one way or another. But to be able to help someone realize that, they are in an emotionally abusive relationship, and potentially they can do something about it.
yeah.
I think that's the best feeling ever.
I mean, it's unfortunately it's such a common issue. I mean, it's absolutely shocking. But I mean, and hopefully, I would love to get this film out to more people, and hopefully, it will save more lives as well. I mean, it's if you can do that with just one film, it's absolutely brilliant. And you know what? If you say what, and it's shocking how many people who do not know that they're being gaslighted. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't aware of the issue even before, when I started
Mm,
this project. So the fact that it's got over 6 million views, I think is just the testimony of how many people could relate to it. Because I think the reason why it got so much yeah, such exposure, I guess, is because people share it with each other. And I've even had, my friend, for example, she went to see her family in Estonia, and she told her that her friend recommended my film to her, and who lives in Estonia. And she
wow.
was like, "Yeah, that's my friend. She did this short film. Like I know her." So it's kind of crazy how, the reach that it has, and we have a lot of people. Obviously, on YouTube, you can see a little bit of the like analytics where people are watching. So a lot of people in the US, a lot of people in the UK, some people, in the Middle East as well, in India, um, all sorts of places, definitely, but UK for sure, and America very big as well. It's a big country, to be fair, so.
It is a massive country, and I mean, I've got to ask as well. I mean, what influenced you to get into filmmaking, and also, if it was anybody that you could work with, new or old, who would it be and why?
I think what influenced me to get into filmmaking is just this ability to make people feel something and make a meaningful impact on someone. I get it sometimes when I watch films that are, where you have to like you watched it and then 3 days later you're still thinking about it and you're like, oh,
Sure.
it's like such a good plot twist, or oh, I really like that character was just amazing. And I don't know, it's just this ability to connect with someone on such a deep
Yeah.
level. Um, and definitely, I think, um, yeah, films that really make you think are the ones that I'm drawn to
Yeah.
naturally. So with that in mind, I would love to work with David Fincher. He's on my top list because I think all of his films have something going on. It's kind of gritty, but it's always something psychological. And yeah, I really, really like his stuff. I'm a huge fan of Christopher Nolan as well. Also kind of for the same reason. It's never as straightforward, and there's quite a lot of layers going on. So that would be, I guess, my two directors that I'd love to work with.
I mean, you've just mentioned two legendaries.
I know. I had
I
to.
mean,
I put my standards high.
well, you never know. You never know who's
Yeah.
listening to this interview, so you never know. And I mean, David Fincher. I mean, I've always remembered the film Seven. That was
Mm.
the first film that I've actually
Mm.
seen, Seven, and it. I don't want to go too spoilery into it, but it has such a shocking ending at the end.
Yeah, I know, I know. I was like, what? No way. Yeah, it was mental. But all of his other, like Gone Girl, actually is very similar to Your Reality in many way because, if by the way, a lot of men comment on Your Reality and they're like, well, that's not fair. Women also gaslight. And I'm like, yes, it's true. I'm not saying that, only men are gaslighters.
Mm.
I just had to make a choice on this film because you can't have it both ways. Someone has to be the gaslighter and someone has to be the victim. So, and I chose the woman to be the victim because it's just statistically more happens more frequently. And I felt like when I was making the film, as I said before, the entertainment value was important to me, but it was more important to me that it would reach the right audience and help them realize something about their life and hopefully make a difference, which it is doing, which is amazing. But yeah, a lot of people are like, well, uh, why are only films made with men who are narcissists and disgusting and gaslighting? And I'm like, no, not true. Gone Girl is a great example of a woman being a narcissist and a gaslighter, and the man was played by Ben Affleck, I think, is actually the good guy. So it happens.
I mean, I haven't seen Gone Girl, but I have seen the trailer for it, so I might have to start
Ah,
watching that one now that you
you
mention
should.
it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But and I've got to ask. I mean, for anybody that wants to like make a film or get into like the film industry, what advice would you give?
I think it's it's been said so many times, but a lot of it is kind of, I mean, it depends what you are passionate about,
Mhm.
first of all, and also what your skill set is, I think, because some people are very visual, some people are more, better with words. So, do you want to be a script writer? Do you want to be a cinematographer? Do you want to be a director? There are so many avenues. Are you better with numbers? Maybe you want to be a producer. So, I feel like for number one, you need to figure out what you enjoy and then how you can apply your skill set to making films. Of course, kind of like everyone wants to be the director, but actually, um, I, for example, when I'm being approached sometimes for, to work with people, I always ask who the cinematographer is as well, because I'm a very visual person,
Mm.
and I want to make sure that the cinematographer knows what they're doing. So I always look them up, and that's really important to me. And also, writing. My husband and I, we have this huge debate, never-ending debate going on between basically he's saying that, sorry, sort of like who is more important, the writer or the actor, to making a film successful. And me, as an actor, I'm saying the writer, even though, I'm almost like undermining my own ability to whatever, save the film. Or but if you think about it, right, uh uh, really, even an amazing actor can't save a really bad script.
Yeah,
It's really, really hard, because, as an actor, you say the words that are written in the script. You say the dialogue as it's in the script. You like, yes, maybe you can improvise a little bit, but you pretty much, your character has been written.
yeah,
um Sometimes it happens that, uh if someone has been miscast or whatever, then or someone does the role differently, and it makes more sense than if another person did it. Maybe to a degree, of course, an actor uh can improve on a script tremendously, but I feel like, I heard someone say it really not really interestingly, in terms of uh the the script is really the basis of everything, and if it's good, then other elements can make it better, like,
mm,
a good actor, good director, good cinematographer, good whatever, marketing, good costume design, art design, etc., etc. So it's almost like, building on top of it.
yeah,
If the script is if the foundation is bad, yes, you can still put all these things on top, but it's never gonna be the same. It's never gonna
yeah.
be on top. So I think it's a really tricky one. So to answer your question, if you want to be the one with like the most impact, you should probably become a writer. If you want to be the one who has the most fame, I guess you should become an actor. And if you want to be, remembered as the creator, the creative, you should become a director. So it kind of depends what you want to get out of this life.
And you know what? I actually agree with you. I think the writer is an important part of making a film because the script is always going to be a blueprint towards a film. And if the blueprint is not very good, then the
Mm,
whole film actually collapses, unfortunately. And no matter, like you said, and I absolutely agree. Like no matter what kind of actor you've got, I mean, you could get the best actor in the world. If you can't, and if you're still working on that script, it unfortunately, if you don't, it's like if the script isn't good, no matter who big the star is, the blueprint in the film actually falls.
it's true. Because also, if yeah, it's true. Because also, if we say that any actor, or like a good actor, can save any script, then there would be the case that, like, really, really talented actors still actually have some really bad films
Yeah.
coming out sometimes, which is like, oh, what happened there? You know what I mean? Where you're like, you're such a good actor, I don't know what happened. But yeah, it's because the script was terrible, most likely.
And,
So yeah.
and I
Happens.
mean, sorry, go on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was kind of like the point I was trying to make, yeah.
And I mean, I really want to help get this film to more people. What you made, because it's like you say, it's a really big issue that is still out there, unfortunately, and more people need to know about it. And I would love to know to get into um, how can people get a copy of the short film? Can people get a copy on digital platforms? Is there any physical copies that people can get?
No, there is no physical copy, but it's freely available to watch on YouTube. So I made this decision after we've produced a film and it has run through several, film festivals and won a few awards. And then the producer and we sort of played around with the idea of what to do with the film next.
Mm.
And we just made this decision that ultimately we created the film so that it can help people. So we decided to just make it freely available to watch on YouTube. So you don't have to pay anything for it. Um, it's just there. It's you type in your reality film into YouTube and you can watch it. It's a 20-minute short, and anyone can check it out if they want to.
I want to talk a bit more about making of the film as well. I mean, how long did it actually take to come together? Was it quite quickly, or was it quite a long process altogether?
For the short film, it was a relatively quick process actually. So I had the idea. I think the research took the longest. So I had the idea. I did some research. In fact, I did a lot of research into the psychology behind it and how it happens. And I'm always trying to educate myself about everything that I write about, so that it's more like as true to life as possible. And then because I'm not a writer, it's not my strength. I started attending these group meetings, which, funny enough, I found maybe someone recommended it to me. I don't even remember, but it was sort of like for script writers, like a bi-weekly get together where we would it's almost like a book club for script writers. It was pretty cool. And people would share their scripts with the group, and we had maybe a couple of days or a week to read the script, and then we would come together in like a pub, and we would discuss and critique and give feedback to the script writer. So I attended a few of those sessions, and then eventually I decided to submit my own script and got some really good, interesting feedback, a lot of critique, a lot of the things that I implemented in the script as well. Um, and that's where I also met a guy called Top Terrassen, and he asked me if I had a director for the short film, because I really wanted to. I was sort of like, I really want to make it happen. This is uh, going to come along one way or another. And I was also trying to raise or do like a Indiegogo campaign to just raise some funds for it as well. Anyway, but yeah, he asked me if I had a director, and I said no. And he's like, I really like the script. I'd love to direct it if you want me to. And I was like, yes, let's do it. And meanwhile, I had no idea who he was in terms of I haven't seen his work before. So it was a bit of a gamble, which really paid off because he turned out to be absolutely brilliant. Um, but yeah, sometimes it's so funny. Sometimes these things just sort of like happen, the universe kind of just everything is aligned. So that's kind of how it felt for this short, because yeah, I ended up launching like an Indiegogo campaign, which, if you've ever done sort of Kickstarter or any kind of like fundraising like this, it is
Mm.
brutal. It is so hard, and it's like the most difficult thing to do, because you kind of messaging all your friends and asking for donations, basically, even though obviously you promise things in return and stuff. But really, people would invest in it only if they like you. um, so I was really struggling with that. And oh, it kind of was going okay, but not like, we didn't raise millions or obviously for a short film. But I then messaged someone who I worked with before, and I asked if he was willing to kind of put in a bigger chunk and become sort of a producer. And obviously, with that, he would also get some return on investment from the short film if it ever made money. So he said yes, and he put, I think, about 5K into it or something along these lines, 4 or 5K. And our overall budget was about 10K. So, the rest we kind of like raised from the Indiegogo campaign. So he kind of chipped in about half of the budget. And and it just that's sort of what it took. And then yeah, I started sort of location scouting. I did the casting, brought some amazing kind of friends on board that I knew from the film industry, who helped me produce it. And yeah, and it sort of just all happened. Um, at the moment, I am going through a similar journey because I'm trying to turn your reality film into a feature. And we're going through the fundraising. The only problem is that with short film, you want to raise 10K, which is a lot of money, but it's still
Yeah,
feasible. With feature film, it's anything between 500,000 to a couple of million. I mean, we're trying to make it to, as cheap as possible,
yeah.
but also I don't want to compromise on the quality. So I don't want it to be, just like an indie film that you sort of, I don't know, watch once and never and never think about again. I do want it to be something that I can be proud of. So it's so hard. And I must say this is like a new challenge for me, raising finances for a feature film. And um I really I really hope we get it done sooner rather than later.
Well, hopefully, I mean, if we can help you out with that. I would love to help you out with that.
Thank
So
you.
hopefully, we can get this out more to more people because it is a serious topic to talk about, and
Yeah.
again, a lot of people don't know about it, and I think we're just at the beginning of how many people know what
Mm.
gaslighting actually is. I mean, so to get it more aware, um, I would love to help out on that. And if I can do that, then I've done my part. But and unfortunately, we're quickly running out of time now. So, but I would love to. It's on the YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
and
so
go on, sorry.
no, it's like, yeah, it's very easy. It's very easy to find. All you have to do is just type in your reality and maybe your reality and gaslighting, and it should be quite high up in the search results. Um, but yeah, definitely, if anyone is listening who is a film investor, hit me up.
So, and so my final question for you, because we are quickly running out of time, unfortunately. I would love to talk more about this, but I want to say, what would you like to say to our listeners who is listening right
Um, good question. I think, depending on whether you're into films, tuning in because you're into films, or whether you're tuning in because you are interested in the topic of gaslighting. um, I think regardless, I feel like I'd love to say that it's important to, number one, listen to your gut and
now?
follow your kind of dreams. I know it sounds so cliche, but I think that we only have this one life, and if you are interested in making films, I feel like it doesn't happen all at once, but you can always make small steps towards the big picture. And I guess the one thing I have learned from the film industry is everything takes like 3 times as long as you imagined it to. And you just have to be patient. And and for people who aren't aware of gaslighting, I would say do check out the short film because a lot of people, I feel like gaslighting has become such a buzzword in the last kind of 3, 4 years.
Mm,
And a lot of people have heard of it or know that the word exists, but they actually don't know what it means.
yeah,
So even now, still, I have get comments or messages all the time of people like, "Oh my God, I watched it and it opened my eyes to what it actually means, and now I see. Now I can see the patterns either in my own life or in, someone friend or family dynamic or whatever." So I feel like you may think that you know what gaslighting is, but you might not. So do check it out. And equally, if you are, experiencing something similar to the main character, know that there is a way out, and not everyone is a terrible person. Not everyone is a gaslight. I feel like a lot of people who I also, read comments I read a lot of comments on the YouTube on the short film because I'm really interested what people kind of what they take away from it. A lot of people are like, "Well, that's why I'd rather be single." And I'm like, "Oh, I get you. It's scary. Dating is scary. Being vulnerable with someone is scary." It- I I don't want people to be put off completely from finding their love. I just want them to be more careful.
sure.
There are good people out there. I am proof for it. I have an amazing husband. Um, I have a lot of other friends who are very happy in their relationships. It's just that sometimes, there are those nasty people who kind of ruin it for everyone,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
yeah.
and put people off from opening themselves up. And I totally understand, if you go for something so traumatic, you sort of scared of opening up again. So yeah, that's sort of my message to the listeners, and I hope people can take away from it what they need.
Tatiana, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Chris. It's been amazing to be on your show.